100-1 in opposition to the Illinois Homeschool Act ahead of a hearing set for Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock at the Capitol in Springfield. And that's just part of the opposition. Good morning, it's Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. The Homeschool Act, filed by State Representative Tara Costa-Howard, and it is a measure that would essentially say that parents who homeschool their children will have to notify the local school district. If not, their kid could be truant. There would also be curriculum mandates and a variety of other things. People not too happy about this. Go to thecentersquare.com where you'll see the headline in the Illinois section about this very issue. 100-1 in opposition to Homeschool Act ahead of hearing. And you can read that story I put together for the Center Square. Let's just read through this. Nearly 4,000 opposition slips have been filed against a measure in Illinois regulating homeschool. This is before a committee. Now, there have actually been tens of thousands filed in opposition. It's House Bill 2827, and it would essentially create the Homeschool Act and require parents to inform local school districts if they decide to homeschool their children. If not, children could be labeled truant, which brings a whole host of other problems. Now, proponents of the bill, they argue that it'll help ensure that kids are protected from potential harm, including making sure that they're receiving adequate schooling. One group in particular, the Coalition for Responsible Home Education, the executive director there said every child has a right to be safe, to learn, and to access resources. HB 2827 would protect those rights for children who are homeschooled in Illinois. That coalition went on to have a bullet point of things they say are why they need it. They say, for instance, there needs to be a record of the children's academic progress. They need to be able to learn from educated instructors and protect them from convicted sex offenders. They also say the measure streamlines the process for homeschooled children to take part in public school activities. One of my colleagues talked with State Representative LaShawn Ford, who shared that he's got a mountain of opposition in his district in Chicago, and this is a Democrat who says he's not going to support this measure as it stands now. From the constituents that I've gotten calls from, understanding why they don't like it, you know, the loss of their autonomy to as a parent. That's a major concern, that they lose autonomy over their children, which is why they actually chose homeschooling. They want to have control over their children's education, including the curriculum, how they teach, and the philosophy. So this legislation imposes regulations that concern the parents. You know, the burdensome of the paperwork. They have paperwork that they will have to do that they find to be could be a violation. I mean, this is what I'm hearing. It just adds to putting them in unnecessary, cumbersome and bureaucracy. You know, they have privacy concerns as well. So a lot of concerns that Ford raised, in particular, some of the other concerns were the curriculum, the philosophy, and so on. More from Representative Ford as to why he says he can't support this bill as it is now, partly because of the incredible large amount of opposition that his office has received. And we got to remember, there's a reason why parents, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, there's a reason why parents decided to take their kids out of traditional public schools and homeschool. You know, and then you look at the part of the bill that talks about truancy, the penalties with truancy. That's a problem. You know, where parents might face penalties. You know, that's a problem. So we don't want parents to face penalties. No different. I don't even think that parents face penalties too much if kids are not going to traditional schools and they're truant. But this puts these parents in a situation where we're putting in a law that they're going to be held to a higher standard than other parents that's not in a homeschool. Homeschool families obviously make that decision for their family for a myriad reasons, right? Maybe they don't like the quality of education at their public school. Maybe they have religious proclivities that they say they want to instill in their children for the 8 hours a day that they're going to be educating them. Maybe they don't like the various requirements of the health and the vaccinations and immunity requirements that public schools require kids to get vaccinations, a pretty large schedule of vaccinations. Ford said that's something else that he's hearing a lot from parents who oppose the Homeschool Act. And go.
There are some things that we have to consider why people have chosen for homeschooling. I mean, there are some things in there for vaccinations, immunization, and health requirements. Some people don't like that. So they oppose the mandatory vaccination and health examinations for their kids for many reasons.
So Ford saying he's not going to support this as it stands now. He says that homeschool parents feel that they've been left out of the conversation in crafting this bill. But I want to show you the numbers of opposition now. When I wrote the story yesterday afternoon, I was looking at this particular page, my.ilga.gov. So this is where you can see information about upcoming committee hearings and such. But you can also look at the witness slips for these particular bills that are going to be heard. And you can see down here, it's got a tab for proponent, 56. So it was at about 36 yesterday when I had my story published. So now it's up to 56 people in support. But then you look at right next to it, opponent, 5,045. So this was just under 4,000 yesterday when I looked at it. So it's grown more than 1,000. So still practically a 100-to-1 opposition to the Homeschool Act. 100-to-1 opposition to proponents of the Homeschool Act. This is just for this hearing. This one hearing that's coming up tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock at the Illinois State House. A couple of weeks ago, or was it last week, you had homeschool families show up to the Capitol in droves. Cherry Pie Day. They delivered cherry pies to their legislators and told them they don't want the Homeschool Act. They want homeschool autonomy. So that's just for the upcoming hearing. If you look at the actual bill, go to ilga.gov and type in HB 2827. You'll be able to read the synopsis of the bill. It talks about, requires the State Board of Education to create a homeschool declaration form to be used by a homeschool administrator to submit information indicating a child's enrolled in that particular program. Provides that a student enrolled in homeschool program in which the homeschool administrator has not notified the public school or school district with the homeschool declaration form is considered truant with penalties applying. Provides a bunch of other stuff as well. But you can look at the full text of the bill, which is written in legalese, but there's also this link witness slips where you can see who's opposed to it, who's filed publicly opposed to it, and who supports it. Let's click on that because this number is going to be much larger because this includes all of the witness slips, not just the witness slips for this upcoming 8 o'clock hearing Wednesday morning. So look at that. Proponents, 759 proponents, people who support it. The opponents, 33,633. 33,633. That's the number who oppose it to the number who support it, 759. Well, I've seen witness slips filed, I don't know if necessarily in this rate, but I've seen similar types of imbalances of large numbers of people who oppose something to the small number of people who support something. And it doesn't really seem to sway legislators for some reason. So the witness slips, yes, it's an exercise people do. It's a way they can interact with government, but sometimes those witness slips just don't seem to make much of a difference. So we'll be watching this hearing tomorrow at the State House, 8 o'clock. It's going to be early. So we're going to have to try to juggle the live show so I can get over to the State House to cover that. Maybe we produce something for you in the morning and get it out to you so that I can be on the ground in the morning to watch the homeschool situation unfold in that hearing. So that's just one measure that's coming up this week. It's going to be interesting to watch the proponents argue in the face of the what some may consider insurmountable opposition. But again, witness slips are witness slips. It's not necessarily something that's going to ultimately sway whether or not that legislation is going to pass. So could homeschoolers face new regulations in Illinois? And would that be something that causes people to say, I'm out, leaving the state? I guess we'll be watching and reporting. It is Illinois in Focus Daily here with the Center Square. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Wake up with us here on YouTube each and every weekday morning. Get the newsletter in your inbox. Just go to thecentersquare.com and sign up for it there. It is Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop.